Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth. Oh, fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, find a pew, and if you don't know what a pew is, look for a chair, and if you can't find a chair, sit on the floor. So what can I learn as someone who's trying to write a Superman movie, or as someone who's at least trying to write a story that he wants to sell as a Superman movie to the studio from Captain America and what Kevin Feige done with that character? Well, I think the key elements are that Captain America and Superman are very similar. Not in the sense of their backgrounds and their origin stories, because they're very different, but they're very all-American, if you like, and they're very straight shoe. They've got this kind of character and personality that's a bit more introvert than extrovert. So they're no Tony Stark, are they? But what the MCU were able to do with Captain America is make him feel really real and relatable. You absolutely understood his struggle of this skinny, small guy who wanted to go and fight in the war and nobody would let him. Then he gets this opportunity of a lifetime. I think the key elements to, I've always called Chris Evans the Christopher Reeve of the MCU. The man's amazing. He's done a great job with that character. But I think the key element why Captain America was really relatable in the MCU was Bucky. And I think when I looked at that, I thought, well, if I take John Corbin in my Superman story and make him Clark Kent's friend and then have him become Metallo, how interesting would that make Superman, wouldn't it? To have this kind of, not exactly a villain, because Metallo can be a villain, but he can also be someone who's helped Superman in the Justice League before as well. So there's this kind of, and then you've got this situation where the elite come in and Manchester Black, and they want to wipe John Corbin, aka Metallo, out. And of course, this is a very difficult situation for Clark, because he has got such a love for Corbin, and he doesn't want to wipe him out. But Corbin is a problem. He has a kryptonite heart. He is poison to Superman. And not only can he be a danger, he's poison. But Superman, being Superman, wouldn't decide to kill someone or have someone killed because he was a danger to him. And this is the situation. And I think this is what I learned from what they did with Captain America in the MCU. His relationship with Bucky is key to making Captain America a bit more, kind of, he turns him into a character, doesn't it? And I think that's what I really liked about it. And I think that's why Captain America works in the MCU. It's his relationship and friendship with Bucky that captured the imagination of the MCU and Marvel fans. Now, a lot of people don't like Captain America, the First Avenger, but actually, I love it. I think it's a really good film. And I think it does a great job with a character that some have kind of always admitted, even Marvel fans have said, well, maybe he's a bit dull. And this is what people say about Superman. As I said before, us Superman fans don't find him dull, but it's convincing a mainstream audience that Superman is accessible for them and represents them. And I think by having this situation with Metallo, who's best friends with Clark Kent, but then, becomes this kind of superpowered metahuman that Clark can't get near. I think that's a very emotional story in a lot of ways, and I think that would capture a mainstream audience imagination. So that's what I think. But what do you think? Do you think you can make Superman, Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, more relatable by having this kind of situation with John Corbin, aka Metallo? I'm interested to hear what you think, because it is important, because I'm developing this story, and my thing is to sit carefully before I put any pen to paper and actually think, how is this going to work? How can I convince the studio, aka Warner Brothers, to take this story up? You know my idea, and I just think this character at long last deserves a film that everyone can fall in love with. We have a way of making films now that you can make the ultimate looking Superman film, but we also want the ultimate emotional experience. And I think when I think about Superman the movie and all the other Superman films, And I said before, I love Superman the movie and I love Man of Steel. I think they're great films, but I still think we can do better. I still feel the character within film hasn't reached his potential. I want to make a film that is so classic that not just Superman fans love this, but people who have not even thought about watching a Superman story before, reading a comic or watching a Superman movie. We can do something special here, but I need your help. So comment down below, like, share, and subscribe.